Hello and welcome to episode 72 of Daryl Show Your Work. All right, so I'm going to be giving a brief disclaimer before doing this video. So moving forward, I'm going to be focusing a bit more. I'm going to be a bit more targeted as far as my videos and dealing specifically with the vulnerability analysis. So doing more red teaming, trying to zero in on some vulnerabilities that I could find with certain protocols or certain stacks that are being used. All right, so I'm gonna be giving that annoying disclaimer that I give a lot of times moving forward in some of my red teaming or offensive security videos like now. So I just want to give that disclaimer and say that anything that I do in this video is for educational and research purposes only. I do not take any responsibility for any sort of malicious behavior that directly or indirectly comes from someone watching my video, nor do I condone it. So what I'll be doing in this video is I will be enumerating an Apache server, web server, and then trying to, based on what I find, trying to exploit any sort of vulnerabilities that I find in doing so. All right. So the first thing that I want to do is to be able to find my target. All right. In order to do so, first I need to find out who I am. So I'm gonna say ifconfig. All right, so it looks like I am in the interface Ethernet 1, and my IP address is 192.139, 131.2. So let's see who my neighbors are. And I can do that by doing an fping -a -g 192 dot let's see 39.131.0. Now I'm gonna use my CIDR address. That way, it's gonna scan the whole network and tell me who else is up on my local network here. All right, so we have dot one and dot three is up. All right, so I am going to target dot three. All right, so I'm going to save that IP address, and I'm going to use mousepad to do so. So let's paste that here, and I'm just put dot three. Just so moving forward I don't forget. Let's copy that. All right, so let's see what ports are open at dot three. So I'm gonna just do a server scan there, and then let me paste. Ooh, that didn't come out great. All right, so just get rid of all this gobbledygook. All right, so what I'm doing here is I'm just scanning the target, our prospective target for any open ports. So I found that it actually has an open port of port 80 running clear text HTTP protocol, and it tells me the Apache version that is running on it. All right, so I want to look for some exploits and ways in which I could probably exploit this open protocol, either based on the protocol itself, HTTP, which is clear text and not encrypted, or the version of Apache that is using. All right, so in order to do so, I am going to go into, I'm going to launch the Metasploit framework. So in order to do that, I'm going to say service. All right, I'm going to say, first I'm going to do the postgresql because we need that database in order for the Metasploit framework to work. So I'm gonna do start. All right, now I'm gonna combine starting up the the PostgreSQL database with starting up the msfconsole. So we just do it all in one step. All right, I'm gonna hit enter. All right, so it looks like it started up the database for me, and also it's starting up msfconsole. All right. All right, so the first thing that I'm gonna do now that I'm in here, I'm gonna make a workspace for myself, and we're just gonna, sorry about that. Let's see, -A. We're gonna name this web enum, since that's what I'm doing in here. Web enumeration, well, enumeration of a web server. So I'm gonna hit enter and just check. That's where I'm currently, the workspace I'm currently in. All right. And it's always good periodically just to make sure that our PostgreSQL database is still up. So just do db_status, just to check on that at any time. We're still up and running. All right. So the first thing I want to do is, before I choose any sort of tool to use, I'm going to set that IP address target. I'm going to set that as a global parameter, so I don't have to keep setting that tool by tool each time that I choose a tool here in the Metasploit framework. So in order to set it as a global parameter, I'm gonna just say setg, and then I'm gonna paste in here. No, well, I have to say rhost, excuse me, and then I'm going to paste our IP address in there. So that's our target. And so basically, I don't have to keep entering this in once we choose a tool here to run against the target. I don't have to keep setting the target. It's going to auto configure to that for each tool that I use here. All right, so I want to find something that particularly targets HTTP protocol. All right, so let's start on the protocol level. So I'm gonna say search HTTP, and we see we have a ton of tools here, like 6,544. So I want to be able to narrow that down. So in order to narrow this list down into something a bit more specific, I'm gonna say search type colon. And so we want to use an auxiliary tool, because at this point we're still doing enumeration. So that's a lot of times when we're doing enumeration, we're just using auxiliary tools and not necessarily exploitation tools. All right, I'm gonna say HTTP. All right, so now I'm just going to narrow this down to just auxiliary tools. All right, still came back with quite a few options here, 89 to be exact. Let's see if we can find something that targets this specific version of HTTP. So I'm gonna scroll up a little bit. Okay, so scrolling. Let's see if we can find any sort of version scanner here. See, I tell you what, this is a very here we go. All right. So it looks like entry 63 is what we're looking for, the HTTP version scanner. So what I could do, I could actually copy this, and in another video, my FTP video where we brute force that protocol, I showed how we can just simply write in an ID number. Now I'm gonna just show ways how we could just write in the protocol. Excuse me, the module name. So I'm gonna say use, and I'm gonna just paste the module name here. All right, and it set that for me. Okay, so all right, now that we have that set, so let's see if there's anything else we need to configure in here. I'm gonna say show options. All right, so we have our, you can see here that we already have our remote host, which is our target, already set because I set as a global parameter. The port is set to 80 by default since we're targeting this specific module targets HTTP. So it looks like I should be good to go. So let's see if we can run this tool to tell us what to verify the version of HTTP that's running. All right, and we can see it did come back that it's running Apache 2.4.18. All right, so the next thing I want to do, let's say if I want to do some more enumeration, let's say that I wanted to find a tool to view the header and web design language that this Apache server uses. So I'm gonna say search HTTP header. All right, we're going to look for a particular tool that does that. All right, we found two. So I'm going to want to use the first one. So this time I'm gonna just say use 0. All right, so we switch to the header scanner. So I'm gonna go to show options just to make sure there's no parameters that I need to set there. No, everything looks good. So I'm gonna just run that and let's see what it comes back with as far as the type of web language and headers that it's using. All right. So we can still see the version here, detected 3 headers. It's a content type text HTML. All right, so that tells us the web language that it's the design language that is using. All right, so now I'm gonna try to brute force this Apache server and let's see what happens. So in order to do so, I'm gonna do a search robots.txt. All right. So this is a HTTP robots content scanner. All right, so I'm gonna use 0. All right, so now I'm gonna see. Let's go to show options just to make sure there's nothing I need to specify here. Uh, no, no, you should be good to go. All right, so let's try to run that. All right. So what it's showing me, it's showing me the different directories, the directories here. So we have a data direct, we have a data directory, we have a secure directory. All right. So I want to know more about these, what's in these directories. So I'm going to, let's say, curl HTTP, and this, so what doing this, it's going to show me, it's going to display what the contents of these directories are. All right, now our IP address is, let's see, it was just, oh yeah, let me see, let's go to, let's copy that again, paste that here. All right, and then I'm going to say slash data, all right, backslash, let's see what's there. All right, we have quite a bit of information in here. All right, and we have that the version and everything like that, and we see exactly what the contents of that particular web page is. So let's go inside of the source, so excuse me, the secure directory. Let's see what's there. Okay, it says unauthorized. All right. So it says this server could not verify that you are authorized to access the document requested. Either you supplied the wrong credentials or your browser doesn't understand how to supply credentials required. Okay, so it looks like that I'm going to require some type of login there. Thus, why I'm going to try to brute force this. All right, so let's see. I'm going to let's find a directory scanner. Let's see if I can do some more digging here. So I'm going to say search dir underscore scanner. All right, there we go. HTTP directory scanner. So I'm going to say use 0. All right, and so let's say you see show options. Everything looks good as far as that. All right, so I'm gonna run this and let's see what happens. All right, so now it's showing me all the different directories. So basically it's coming back with the 404 not found, and it's giving me a list of all those different directories besides the 2 that we found. All right, and so now I have a more robust listing of directories here. All right, so now let's see. I want to try to use a login. I'm going to try to log into one of these. So I'm going to say search. All right, and I'm going to say, well, let's see. Let's look at what files are in these directories. Let's see if we could do that first. Files underscore dir. All right, so HTTP interesting file scanner. All right, so I'm going to use 0. All right, see show options. Just make sure there's no parameters I need to set there. We should be good to go. So I'm going to do run. All right, so it looks like we found a backup file. We found a code C file. Found a config file. Index. Got a test PHP file. So it's looking for, it's basically is using this word list here to look for different types of files and different type of formats. And if it finds if it finds files in the formats that it's listing out in the extension here, it's going to tell us what files have that extension within that directory. And now it's giving me just a list of all the different files that it's finding. All right. So now we have that. So now let's try to log in. So I'm gonna say search HTTP underscore login. All right. So we have quite a few tools that came up. I want to use, let's see, scanner. So let's use number 3, just a basic HTTP login utility. All right. So I'm gonna say use 3. All right. Let's show options. Okay, so there's a few things here that I am going to set. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to say set auth underscore URI, and I'm going to set that to the secure directory. All right, because that's where I'm going to try to log into, since that's the one that blocked me. All right, and then we're not going to use a user password file. So I'm going to unset user pass underscore file, because you can see we have a word list here. All right, so I'm going to unset that. All right, and let's try to run that. Let me see. Oh, you know what? Hold on. I fat fingered something here. Let's meant to say unset. All right. So let's run and let's see what happens. All right. So we have success. So we have credentials Bob, and we have 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1. All right. So give me a moment here. All right. So sorry, I had to make sure I had to make sure that I didn't get any more successes here. So yeah, so basically what I did here, I was able to retrieve the um, the username and password, the credentials to enter into the secure part of or that secure directory of 192.39 um, 1313. Let's try to test this out. I'm just curious. So I'm gonna copy that. Let's open our web browser here. All right, let's go to HTTP / and then secure. All right, so let's give it the old credentials here. Bob, Bob, not Bib. Bob, 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1. Bam, we're in. All right, so it looks like that worked. So just to give a high level overview of what I did here. All right, so first we did some recon here. I found our target within my local network, and then I started up the Metasploit framework, and I did quite a bit of enumeration here. I verified the HTTP version, compared that to what I did when I ran my servers version in Nmap, just to make sure all things aligned there. I also did used a HTTP header utility auxiliary scanner to basically see what web design language was being used there. Now, also looked as far as the other robots txt file to be able to enumerate a few of the directories that was there. I discovered the data directory and the secure directory, so I was able to basically view what was in the data directory, but not view what was in the secure directory. Let me know that I needed to some credentials there. So in order to be able to um, view more of what was in that web server, I used a directory auxiliary scanner and it enumerated more directories for me. And I also used a files directory scanner, which told me different files that was in that Apache server, despite not being able to access the secure directory there. I was still able to see what files, some of the files that were on that server based upon their file types and extensions. And so finally, after doing this amount of enumeration, I decided to try to do an HTTP login by using an auxiliary scanner there, where basically I brute forced different common usernames and passwords, and successfully got back on the common username and password combination of Bob123 321. And I tested this out by going to that hosted site and using those login credentials, and was able to successfully log on. So please share, like, and subscribe. Most importantly, show your work. Until next time, take care of yourself, and God bless.